Good morning, everyone. So, today in this session, we are going to start a new series that is JSON, right? JSON parsing. So, many a times you have heard about this JSON file, right? So, today we are going to discuss actually what is the JSON file and what is the structure of a JSON file, how you can create a JSON file, and how you can work with the JSON file using JavaScript, right? So, JSON is stands for JavaScript object notations, right? It is a lightweight data interchange format and it is simple textual representation of a data. So if you have heard about the XML, right? So XML is also one of the data interchange format, right? So here, similarly, we are going to use JSON for that purpose. Now, why JSON? So it is easy for humans to read and write. It is easy for machines to parse and generate, right? And the main advantage is it is completely independent of any language, right? So you can use this JSON file with most probably all the programming languages, right? So all the modern programming languages will support a JSON parsing, right? So now JSON is extremely lightweight data interchange format for data exchange between server and clients, which is quick and easy to parse and generate. That's why it is more popular than XML nowadays. Like XML, JSON is also a text-based format that's easy to write and easy to understand for both human and computers. But unlike XML, JSON data structure occupy less bandwidth than XML versions. That's why JSON is popular, right? Now, JSON is based on two basic structures. One is object. You can also say it's a JSON object and array. It's JSON array. Now, what is JSON object and what is JSON array? How you can define that, right? So, object is defined as an unordered collection of key value pairs, right? So nowadays key value pair structures are very popular in programming languages because it is very easy to manipulate. Each object begins with left curly brackets and end with the right curly brackets. So here you can see that it uses a multiple key value pairs and that is separated by the comma. Now array is defined as an ordered list of values. An array begins with the left bracket and end with the right bracket. So you just need to remember whenever you see curly brackets, then it's an object. Whenever you see square bracket, it's an array, right? Both are separated by the comma. Now, what are the data types supported in JSON, right? So the first data type is string. This is defined as an unordered collection of key value pair. So suppose if I want to define one string that is in a key value pair, so name is a key and admin is the value, right? Similarly, array is also very easy to define. It is the ordered list of values. Array begins with the brackets of square brackets, right? Now suppose if I want to define JSON array, then I just need to define like users. Suppose I want to define array of users, right? So user is my key and these are the values, right? So guest, admin, root, these are the array values we have. So this way you can just define the JSON array. Next is a number. Suppose if I want to define a number, so I want to define an age, right? So age equal to 30. Similarly, object. So objects are defined within the curly brackets. So you can define more than one objects also, right? Here I have defined only one object. Again, it's a user, right? It has a name, age, and city properties, right? So these are the data types supported by the JSON, and these are the ways you can create it, right? Now here is very simple example of one JSON file. Like suppose if I want to create object of students, right? So student and here ID, name and branch. Again ID, name and branch, right? So you can see this way you can create one JSON file, right? And then you can manipulate this JSON file with any programming languages, right? Here is one another example. It's like first name, last name, likes Chinese food, number of displays, right? So these are the mixed value example. So here I have used string, boolean, integer, right? Similarly, you can also define JSON object like this. You can store it in one JSON string object, and here is the value,